What's up, meta nerds? This complete breakdown of the Crab Droid, or the LM-432, will pull from every resource available to understand its backstory, how it worked, its history, and behind-the-scenes facts. The CIS is easily the military with the most diverse units in history, from the many varieties of troopers, dozens in total of B-1s, B-2s, and more, to things like the enormous walkers in the form of the OG-9 and Octoptara. The LM-432 would fit in as a highly specialized unit with an average height of 1.49 meters, or 4 feet 11 inches, about a foot shorter than the B-1, and 2 feet taller than an astromech, while having a width of 6 meters or 19 feet 8 inches, making it about 1.5 times the width of the Eta 2. You'll see why I got the nickname the Muckraker, and it would be one of the last additions to the droid army, though why it was added may be more for profit than for tactical considerations. As this quote from the Techno Union's LM-432 Risk Assessment Report reads, "Crab droids have subpar targeting percentage, but deliver a profit of 48,000 credits per unit. They might not win the war, but they could save the Techno Union's fiscal quarter." So the evil Gumby folks might be one of the most realistic things in all of Star Wars. But to be fair, it was inspired by the flaws of the Spider droid, which was produced by Bactoid. But the Spider had many environmental failures related to navigating swampy and Arctic conditions, having issues in everything from their scanners to their motivators, and many different members of the CIS would contribute parts to bring the Crab droid to life, with techs being able to see the fingerprints of companies from the Trade Federation to the Hyper Communications Cartel, but with it being completed and shipped out by the Techno Union. One of the most interesting features, though there are sadly no images of it, is that there are 8 different sizes of the Crab droid. Somewhat like the Spider assassin probes, there was a tiny crab intended for espionage that could scurry about relatively undetected, all the way up to enormous ones that were larger than an ATTE that could batter down enemy defenses from walls to siege doors, to others that had Gungan-made bubble warp projectors, which when fired rendered even Jedi completely immobile, and could be used to block exits, lock down cities, and jam up vehicles. But these that we see most are the mid-size heavy infantry series, which were covered in thick armor, rated to stop endless barrages of small arms fire. The very first time they were deployed was during the Second Battle of Jabim.
This next one goes out to the mutt jumpers of the 224th, slugging it out on Mimbom. Keep your heads down and your seals tight, boys.
And they would show off the Separatist ability to create a large array of customized gear and weapons. Many of the versions fielded on the mud-covered world came equipped with insulated vacuum pump systems, placed inside of their forward pincers, which were complex assemblies of tubing and spray nozzles that could suck up mud and spray it out, flipping the environmental conditions on their head, clearing a path for themselves and other CIS units, while making it rain mud on the Republic forces, creating the once thought impossible situation where a trooper was suddenly covered in even more mud. Hell for the organic clones, but also for the machinery and technology, everything from the optic systems of walkers and tanks to comms and repulsors. Tales of this horror is what gave it the name Muckraker, but in the end it ended up being applied to all 8 versions of the Crab. What all these 8 had in common was the same design of 6 heavily armored limbs with powerful motivators to allow it to punch through the thickest rock and scale any terrain, even hanging upside down like the chameleon droids. Duranium teeth were on the tips of the limbs, along with the prongs to grip on each of the elbow joints. These 3 points could pinch together and sort of dig in and hang off of things, so it made it a truly all-terrain unit. These 3 eyes, or dots on its face, are the sensor bulb, targeting rangefinder, and backup photoreceptor, while these antennae allow it to be in constant contact with other droid units and commanders, be they T-Series or organic allies. This is one of those units that is more impressive for its ability to scale and alter the environment, playing more of a support role, but they did have a pair of blaster cannons slung beneath its central body. Though most clones did confirm that internal report, noticing that these crabs couldn't hit the broadside of a Venator. This made them little more than paperweights in the eyes of Republic troopers, and being stripped of their intended creepy or intimidating battlefield appearance, some brave clones would simply rush them and exploit a weakness shared throughout the GAR, which said that these crabs had a weak point just behind the head. Oh, they had to be careful as the crabs were quick on their feet and were known to run down and simply stomp troopers to death, being far quicker than clones could run on foot in full armor.